Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gromansing. Election officials testified before senators Thursday for the second round of questioning from the legislative body. Government Services Committee Chair Diane Capehart called the meeting to get an update on the board's operations and to question allegations against the board. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
Thursday's hearing got off to a rough start when members of the board testifying had to be separated. Government Services Chair Senator Diane Capehart led the meeting to get answers to questions she didn't receive in a March meeting. Elections officials also wanted the opportunity to get their concerns out in the open. St. Croix District Chair Delbert Bryan's concern was the $2.1 million appropriated to elections that they never received and that might have been diverted for other use. Bryan said if they don't receive that money, he plans to sue the government. St. Thomas District Board member Wilma Marsh Monsanto outlined a long list of concerns she had regarding what she considered to be illegal operations of the board, from the use of non-EAC certified machines to certain actions taken by board members during various board meetings. She asked that the Senate take action and do something. Senator Donald Cole agreed that correction needs to take place and that they could help in the future, but he disagreed that they were the body to do what she asked for specifically.
The people are tired of having their concerns be shrugged off. Please determine today for the public, once and for all, determine today, what legal authority did the Attorney General Vincent Fraser have outside of 18 VIC Section 6 to arbitrarily instruct the use of non-EAC certified voting machines?
If someone takes a case to the court, and the court rule against that claimant, the next step is to appeal that decision, and you can appeal it, as former Senator Bryan said, all the way to the Supreme Court. The legislature makes laws, Madam Chair, as you so eloquently pointed out. We do not adjudicate laws. The process is set. Coming back to the legislature and telling the legislature, well, you should do this and you should do that. The court opined, they made a decision, and if we are not satisfied, then we have our ways of going to the airways and say what you have to say.
Now, other topics during Thursday's meeting were the lack of leadership in elections and the new voting machines. News 2 will have more from Thursday's Senate hearing in our Friday newscast. Meanwhile, former Elections Supervisor John Abramson Jr. appeared at the Senate Thursday afternoon and answered criticisms and questions by the board.
The problem with the election system, and it has been very clear, is that the policy makers have not stood up and made policy decisions. The problem is we have infighting on the board. Sitting right next to me here is Ms. Monsanto, a board member who has constantly and continuously since her ascension to the board been a negative influence about every single thing that's happening on the board, about this, that, and the other. These issues are not administrative issues that I need to deal with. You don't walk in front of your boss. You walk behind them. And I am telling you now, this day, until and when you change or the structure of the board, which I think can work, because it worked with me for 2 decades, that you look at the individuals that you have selected to be on this board, that you'll have the same problem.
As we reported on Wednesday in a radio address, Governor Jongh Jr. outlined the territory's financial challenges, shared his proposals for fiscal solvency, and laid out the approach he will take to achieve these goals in cooperation with the 30th legislature. The radio address provided Jongh an opportunity to explain why he opted to delay submission of the fiscal year 2014 budget by a few weeks. He submitted legislation on Wednesday.
First, it will authorize bank funding that will bridge our spending needs for the balance of this fiscal year. Second, it will extend the 8% salary rollback through the end of this fiscal year. And this is a critical step that will reduce our cash outflow and is necessary if we are to secure the bank funding. And finally, it will authorize the funding of health insurance premiums for the balance of this fiscal year. This is my approach, and these are my proposals, and I'm calling upon the senators to support me and pass these measures. If they choose not to pass this proposed legislation, then I call on them to pass any measure of their own choice that would deliver the combination of increased revenues and reduced spending in time to make payroll and pay health insurance premiums from now until September 30th. But if the Senate simply refuses to act, I do not want anyone to doubt what steps will be required. First, I cannot leave our employees and their families and our retirees without health insurance. Therefore, I will take actions that I must take to pay the health insurance premiums, and this will require that I act immediately to reduce spending across the government.
Meanwhile, Senate President Sean Michael Malone said Wednesday that senators have been working diligently on deficit reduction measures. Senator Malone says he believes the governor's statements Wednesday were detrimental, unwarranted, and unnecessary at this time, and he challenges many of his assertions. He says senators have not yet even received complete access to the financial data they have requested.
The governor fails to recognize that transparency and credibility are issues that his administration has faced since he took office. Let it be known to this entire territory that what we receive in terms of financial information is post information. We have to rely on the governor's numbers. Yes, we have met with the governor, but we continue to operate with, again, financial information that they provide. And we just don't understand, based on our own research, why all other options have not been exhausted. This is information that we need to help complete our analysis of other creative ways to leverage funds or bond monies to look at ways to arrive at some cash, reduce our interest on long-term debt to the people and future generations of unborn Virgin Islanders, so that we can have some money to operate within this last quarter.
Malone said the majority caucus met Wednesday in order to work out a comprehensive strategy for reducing the budgetary shortfall in order to allow for the restoration of government employees' salaries and address the deficit prior to the legislative session scheduled for June 24th, 2013. The session will be preceded by a Finance Committee meeting to deal with the deficit on June 18, 2013. The 2011 property tax bills will become delinquent after June 8th. Officials from the Property Tax Office say that payments received in the office on Monday, June 10th will be considered as timely since the deadline of June 8th falls on a Saturday. Any payments made after that will start to accrue penalties and fees. Payments for the 2011 bills and prior years can all be paid at the tax collector's office on each island. Contact those offices with any questions. Police on St. Thomas are investigating a shooting that occurred about 1 a.m. June 6th. The situation occurred when a man gave a ride to two other men in the vicinity of Havenside. While driving toward Red Hook, the front seat passenger told the driver he needed to relieve himself. When the driver pulled over, the passenger tried to take the car keys from the ignition. The two men struggled. During the struggle, the driver managed to draw his licensed firearm and shoot the front seat passenger in his midsection. Police said they confiscated the weapon pending the conclusion of that investigation. Just before 6 a.m. on June 6th, 911 dispatchers advised police on St. Thomas of an unresponsive male in a car in the vicinity of Coral World. Police do not have an identity on the deceased male, and they're asking the community's assistance in identifying the victim. Police arrived on the scene and saw the victim in the driver's seat of a red four-door Pontiac Grand Am. The victim is about 40 to 45 years old. He has a dark complexion, about 5'8" tall, slim with a low haircut and thin beard. He was wearing blue jeans and a white long-sleeve shirt. Police say he was also wearing a wristband from Tootsie's Gentlemen's Club. Call police if you have any information that can assist in the investigation. The Division of Personnel, in partnership with the UVI's Institute for Leadership and Organizational Effectiveness, has extended the deadline to June 14, 2013 for interested individuals to submit their applications for consideration to participate in the Virgin Islands Certified Public Managers Program. That program is a nationally recognized program specifically for managers in federal, state, and local government and nonprofit organizations. It prepares participants for the challenges and unique demands of the public management professions. Supervisors and managers within the VI government can complete the the VI CPM program in 12 months. It begins July 9th, 2013. An application can be obtained from the Division of Personnel's website. Well, over 150 participants are expected to attend the USVI 2013 Economic Development Summit in D.C. as a way for Virgin Islanders on the mainland to engage with the territory's leaders and identified ways in which the broader VI diaspora can reconnect and contribute their skills and talents to benefit the community. The summit is being hosted by the USVI Alliance with the support of the 340 Group, LLC, a Virginia consulting firm owned and operated by Virgin Islanders. The team is based in the Washington, D.C. metro, New York City, and St. Thomas areas. The event will feature discussions and presentations, and you can still participate if you can't make it.
Hearing from the delegates to open up the conference with an overview of some of the federal initiatives that help to spur economic growth, and especially coming out of a recession, and also some of the programs that will enable small business and other parts of the private sector to thrive as we go into the future. And then we will also have an opening panel that talks about some of the success stories as it pertains to developing the economy. So we will have an overview from EDA CEO Percival Clouden, as well as representatives from the University of the Virgin Islands Research and Technology Park. We have someone from WAPA participating, Housing Finance, and International Capital and Management Company. And the wonderful thing about this conference is we've tried to really incorporate the Virgin Islands community that lives in the D.C. region, and beyond the D.C. region. So it's being
And we will have more on how you can participate on Friday's newscast. The Obama administration and key lawmakers are defending a sweeping practice to collect records from one of the nation's biggest phone companies. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from the White House.
The chairman of the House Intelligence Committee says the government program to collect phone records prevented a terrorist attack.
It was a significant case that happened within the last few years.
Congressman Rogers says details about the threat are classified. He also repeated a White House official statement that the National Security Agency monitors only phone numbers and other data, not names, and does not listen to conversations. Britain's Guardian newspaper first reported the court order for Verizon to send data on a daily basis. Lawmakers say Congress constantly reviews the program.
Everyone should just calm down and understand this isn't anything that is brand new. It's been going on for some 7 years.
The Obama administration is continuing a practice that was authorized under George W. Bush after 9/11. The court order must be renewed every 90 days. But privacy advocates like former FBI agent Mike German of the ACLU say the practice goes too far.
I never worked a case where gathering information about an innocent person told me something about a guilty person.
Verizon has not commented on the reports, but in an email to employees, a top executive says Verizon continually takes steps to safeguard customer privacy. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, the White House.
And keeping our eye on the economy, the markets have been up and down today as investors wait for the latest jobs figures to come out tomorrow. Economists predict the unemployment rate will stay at 7.5%. Today, a report showed 11,000 fewer Americans filed for first-time unemployment benefits. This is the New York Stock Exchange, the Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Everything up. The Dow 80, NASDAQ 22, S&P 13. Coming up on News 2, world wrestling entertainment superstar Sheamus had a powerful message for students at the Ivanna Eudora High School on St. Thomas on Thursday. We'll have more. The Wallowee Hospital unveiled its brand new women's imaging suite Wednesday night during an opening reception. The state-of-the-art center will offer mammography services, bone density scans, sonograms, and biopsy procedures primarily for women. Hospital officials presented Senator Narita O'Reilly with an award for her passion to see Wallowee outfitted with a mammography machine and her subsequent appropriation of $300,000 that got the ball rolling.
The program is geared to address preventive health care for women to ensure that our women in our society remain healthy. It's not only for women, it's also for men, because men do actually get breast cancer, and also men do actually get osteoporosis. What this program is geared to do is addressing the public health need within the society to screen for breast cancer, which, as you know, is the second leading cause of death within the territory at this time.
Now, anyone interested in setting up an appointment for any of the new diagnostic imaging services can contact the hospital at 778-6311. On Thursday, hundreds of students from the Ivanna Eudora High School were in for a treat as the Virgin Islands National Guard held an event that brought World Wrestling Entertainment superstar Sheamus to the school as a guest speaker. The WWE Superstar took the time to visit the island to speak to the students about life skills, physical fitness, and importance of education. The visit was all in part of the Big Guns partnership between the WWE and National Guard, which sends WWE superstars across the nation to speak to students about fitness and life goals.
National Guard have brought me over to talk to the kids, just basic general, and staying in school and just sharing my story of my life story and how I got to WWE and what I went through in school. So it's been great, loads of energy, a lot of fun, and not one of them is shy, so that's always a good thing. It's great. I mean, I can't say enough good things about this high school, about the kids, and I hope to get back to Virgin Islands pretty soon with a lot of sunscreen and a lot of sunblock to keep me shaded from the sun. But it's a beautiful island and I'm very happy to be here.
Well, summer employment opportunities are available at the Virgin Islands Port Authority for U.S. Virgin Islands high school and college students in the territory. VIPA Executive Director Carlton Dow said this year's summer program will focus on giving students real-life job experiences that he hopes will inspire students to have the opportunity to be on the job sites with engineers, marine pilots, or in the offices learning and performing actual duties related to the management of port facilities. The deadline for submitting applications is Wednesday, June 12th. The program will run for 6 weeks beginning July 1st. You can call the VI Port Authority for more information. The National Park Service will be hosting its annual Youth Conservation Corps program this year. Under the summer program, youth will have the opportunity to be employed for 6 weeks and learn about the conservation mission for the Park Service. The program begins June 24th and will employ 16 students. Interested applicants should be between the ages of 15 and 18. Applications can be picked up at the National Parks Visitor Center in Cruz Bay from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. beginning today. They must be returned by June 13th. Contact 776-6201 for more information. Well, the Virgin Islands has been awarded a grant of $119,000 to protect the habitat of local marine and land species and promote conservation. The state wildlife grant will help implement new programs that protect wildlife and threatened habitats in marine and inland areas of the territory. For this fiscal year, the Virgin Islands will receive $117,000 for the territory's state wildlife grant program, as authorized by the Department of Defense, Military Construction and Veterans Affairs, and another $1,569 as its share of unobliged balances from 2007 and prior year grant closures. More than 400 people attended this year's 2013 Caribbean Color exhibit at Yacht Haven Grand on Saturday, June 1st. And congratulations to all the winners. Brenda Sylvia's mixed media installation, Two Blue and Mixed Media Painting, Blue Melody by Danielle Ebenholz, a student at Antilles School, as the Best in Show. Artists, the 2013 Caribbean Color, Two Blue for You art exhibition hosted by Art VI Advocates celebrates the diversity, creativity, and quality of work being produced in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It featured in the exhibition were more than 50 works of art and fine art photography from local resident artists from all three islands, as well as over 30 works of art by students from Charlotte Amalie High School, Ivanna Eudora High School, Antilles School, and the School of Visual Arts Careers. Well, the next First Friday Business Expo is scheduled for tomorrow, June 7th at Cocoa Blue in Red Hook from 5 to 8 p.m. This fundraiser will help the VI Montessori School and Peter Gruber International Academy.
From the raffle will go toward supplementing our financial aid funds. We try to put as much as we can out for financial aid to just continue the great diversity that we have at our school. Our funds, our budget at the school is so tight that it's really difficult to advertise. And this is a way for us to all come out, have fun, have a party, listen to the kids, and tell everybody about what you do as an entrepreneur on the island that can benefit others.
Come out to First Friday, tomorrow it's free.
Should be a whole lot of fun. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.